Welcome, Kevin Burke. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much.
Good. Thank you for sitting in the hot seat.
Yeah, it's pretty warm right here.
So tell us, how many businesses have you started over the years, and how many have been successful?
Define success for one, and I don't know, it's too many to count. If you go all the way back to when a long time ago, where I thought I was going to start a dog walking service, believe it or not. I put one ad in and got 0 calls, and that was it of that business. So that one would be called a failure. But I'd say 5 at least in the past 20 years, I'd say. Yeah. And they've all had their ups and downs as well. Some successful in certain areas, some total failures, but I learned something from every one of them. So
I remember that you have said before, don't start a business unless you have a heart for failure. So can you tell us about some of the ups and downs that you've experienced?
some of the ups would be when you're actually getting phone calls, people wanting your services and you wanting everything. The downs would be, one of the biggest downs I could think would be when I owed people money and people owed me money and I could not pay them because I was waiting on money. I've hid under my desk before when I had contractors knocking on the door. So that's a down moment, literally down on the floor when you can't pay people that actually did work for you and you couldn't pay them. So that was always you felt not so good about yourself at that time. So yeah, we actually hid under desk before.
So tell me how the 2008 recession affected you and your business.
2008 was a trying time for me and everybody else in the U.S. anyway. I was going through a hard time with work. We couldn't find work, contracting work, and I was distracted with other things, like I was doing things I shouldn't be. I was in the middle of an affair. I was focused on that and not what I should have been focused on, our business, trying to keep it going. That put me in a place to where I ended up losing my family, lost everything for the most part. 2008 recession put me down on the bottom floor, lowest I've ever been. And it helped me to start reaching out to God to send me in the right direction and start doing things for Him and not for myself anymore. So it was a bittersweet time, I reckon. You know,
I remember you telling me one time you got gas money out of your daughter's piggy bank.
Yes, I did.
Tell me about how that felt.
Not very well. So when we had money at the time, I had to get those big old water jugs, coolers.
Uh-huh.
So my idea was every time I had spare change, that's when people actually had cash in their pocket, not a debit card all the time. So I would always bring extra home change, no matter what I had in my pocket, I throw it in my kids' water bottle. So when I lost everything, didn't have a job, or didn't have our business, and was getting sued, and I needed gas money, and gas was ridiculous at the time too, but I had to get money out of her piggy bank just for gas, and it was very humbling. When you want to be a provider, it just, it's a very icky feeling.
Yeah, and when you were used to making good money and had a successful business.
Yes.
And so, tell me about your relationship with God before you lost the business. Was it more just like you went to Him when you needed something?
Yes, it was like a AAA,
Yeah.
flat tire.
Yeah.
If I needed Him, I'd give Him, hey God, I need a little help here.
Yeah.
And that'd be it. I felt like mentally I had a good relationship with God. It was not in my heart. It was not in my gut. It was just kind of like, oh yeah, I was raised in the church.
Yeah.
I'm a Christian, baptized, love Jesus, believe in Jesus, but I didn't have that gut, that heart. I've heard before in a church that you're 18 inches away between life and death. So you can read the Bible, hear it here, and you go, oh yeah, okay, that scripture, I'll use that. Maybe that'll help me out. Like, as our pastor says all the time, like it's not a genie, oobadoo, like,
Yeah.
I need a car, and then poof,
Yeah.
you got a car. Jesus is not a genie in a bottle. Yeah, but you take that 18 inches from here and put God here.
In your heart. Yeah. Makes a difference. Yeah. I think a lot of people can relate to that, Oh, I've been to church. Okay, check it off. Got baptized, got dunked. Okay, good. I'm going to go to heaven. Now I'm going to go live my life and, run around and drink and do all. I've been there. I've done that. And so,
I was right there with you.
yeah, I know, right? And here we are. God has a sense of humor, right? So I think what's important for people to know is when you lost everything, as many people, I think, that have their own businesses, sometimes they're tempted to even take their own life because now they can't financially provide for their family. What would you say to that man that's watching and that has lost everything, literally can't provide for his family? Maybe he's divorced now, doesn't see a way out. What would you say to him?
I would say definitely don't take your life. You don't want to end it in a valley. God has plans for us all, and there are treasures in heaven, and doing it ending early like that is not the way to go. Let God use you. Pray to the Lord, put him in your heart. He'll lift you up and use you as an example to spread his love and his gifts with everybody else.